Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatir uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 1 Chapter 10 Verse 8. Amantriya chabhya nujjanatha parishvajyabhivadyatam aruroharatham kaishchit parishvakto avivaditha amantriya chabhya nujjanatha parishvajyabhivadyatam aruroharatham kaishchit parishvakto abhivaditha
Amantriya chabhya najuta parishvajyabhivadyatam aruroharatam kaischit parishvakto abhivadita.
Translation purport by His Divine Grace of Charnaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Synonyms: Amantriya, taking permission.
Taking permission.
Cha and Abhyanujnatha, being permitted. Parishvajya, embracing. Abhivadya, bowing down at the feet.
Bowing down at the feet.
Tam, unto Maharaja Yudhishthira. Aruroha, ascended. Ratham, Aroha. Ratham, the chariot. Kashchit, by someone. Parishvakta, being embraced. Abhivadita, being offered obeisances. Translation, please repeat after me. Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it.
Afterwards, when the Lord asked permission to depart and the king gave it,
the Lord offered his respects to Maharaja Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet.
The Lord offered his respects to Maharaja Yudhishthira by bowing down at his feet.
And the king embraced him.
And the king embraced him.
After this, the Lord, being embraced by others, and receiving their obeisances, got into his chariot.
Purport. Maharaja Yudhishthira was the elder cousin of Lord Krishna, and therefore, while departing from him, the Lord bowed down at the king's feet. The king embraced him as a younger brother, although the king knew perfectly well that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. The Lord takes pleasure when some of his devotees accept him as less important in terms of love. No one is greater than or equal to the Lord, but he takes pleasure in being treated as younger than his devotees. These are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. The impersonalist cannot enter into the supernatural roles played by the devotee of the Lord. Thereafter, Bhishma and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they
Bhima.
were of the sorry. Thereafter, Bhima and Arjuna embraced the Lord because they were of the same age. But Nakula and Sahadeva bowed down before the Lord because they were younger than he.
Ayam Tatsadamagyamtimirandasi Gyanangan Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pathaka Swami Niti Namane Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Pradhaine Gaurakata Dehamadhaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavade Paschatya Desatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Yaraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Hari Gopala Govinda Ram Sri Madhusudanam Mukam Karadi Vachalam Bhagavan Gayatri Giri Mitripathamam De Sri Gurum Denitarinam Brahmananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Meshwaram Hari Om Tat Sat. So here again Srila Prabhupada is telling that when the Lord is treated or taking a position of a subordinate to a devotee, the Lord gets more pleasure than is taking the position of the supremacy. So he plays the role here essentially as a related to cousin relation to Yudhishthira. To some of the Pandavas, he is equal or younger, where to others, he is elder. So this pleasure he is taking by offering obeisances to Yudhishthira, embracing Bhima and Arjuna, and accepting obeisances from Nakula and Sahadeva. Prabhupada is giving us very vividly that before departing, how he is dealing with everybody, every very dear and near. Not that generally he just speak and go. To every individual person, he is reciprocating. The Lord always reciprocates to individual because the relationship is between two. It is never group. There is no group relationship. Okay. So you may generally call, okay, the Lord and the devotees. So generally we call the terms devotees. That is not a group relationship. Amongst the devotees, each devotee has a personal and private relationship based on the affection, love, the tie of love which binds Krishna and his pure devotee. So that affection gives pleasure to Krishna. So to different devotee, he will behave differently. Though there are unlimited devotees in each of the rasa, like in the Dasya rasa. Now Bhishma was in the Dasya rasa, Lord reciprocated differently. Arjuna is in Sakya rasa, so he reciprocates differently. Nakula and Sahadev is in a different relationship. Bhima and Arjuna both are more or less the same age group. So he reciprocates different to different individual person. It is not because they both are same age group, the Lord will behave same. No. Nakula and Sakadeva are same age group, junior to Lord. The Lord will behave the same. No. To Nakula, he is the Lord in a particular rasa on the particular, what you can say, quality. Similarly to Sakadeva also. So he always reciprocates individually because he is an individual and every devotee is an individual, and the relationship between two only, not relationship amongst. There is no group relationship. So these are all transcendental pastimes of the Lord. That how he is reciprocating. He is taking pleasure. The transcendental pastimes of the Lord is nothing but he acts as a supreme enjoyer. He enjoys being subordinate to some devotee and he enjoys being, controlling some devotees. So in either by some means or the other, he remains the supreme protector, provider, and the enjoyer. And so everywhere you will find Krishna's pastime, he always reciprocates individual. Even amongst unlimited cowherd boys, when he went to the forest of Vrindavan to graze the cows or calves, at that time, during the lunch time, when he was sitting in the center and around him were, hundreds and thousands of cowherd boys sat together. Every cowherd boy was seeing Krishna face to face. So, because this is only possible by God, so only Krishna. Even to millions of such cowherd friends, individually he is dealing with each one. Even what to speak of cowherd friends, even to the cows. And he calls the cows by name. Just imagine when the Lord affectionately calls one by name, what would be the relationship? What would be the feelings? So this is Krishna. He always exists in his transcendental pastimes. And his transcendental pastimes are nothing but dealing with devotees. How differently he deals with the different devotees. And he takes full pleasure in that, along with the devotees. So let's go to the next verse. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 10, verse 9 and 10. Subhadra Draupadi Kunti.
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti.
Viratha Thanaya Tatha.
Viratha Tanaya Tatha.
Gandhari Dardrashtrascha.
Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha.
Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamau.
Gautamo Yamau.
Brukodarascha Daumyascha.
Vrikodarascha Dhaumascha.
Striyo Matsya Sutadaya.
Striyo Matsya Sutadaya.
Nasehire Vimukhyanto.
Sehire Vimukyanto.
Viraham Sarangadanavana. Danvana.
Viraham Saranga Dhanvana.
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti.
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti.
Virata Tanaya Tatha.
Viratha Tanaya Tatha.
Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha.
Gandhari Dhritarashtrascha.
Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamau.
Yuyutsu Gautamo Yamau.
Brukodarascha Daumyascha.
Vrikodarascha Dhaumyascha.
Striyo Matsya Sutadaya.
Striyo Matsya Sutadaya.
Na sehire vimokyanto
Nase hire vimuyanto
vigraham sarangadanvana.
viraham saranga dhanvana.
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti
Subhadra Draupadi
Subhadra Draupadi Kunti
Viratattanayat Tata
Virata
Viratha Tanayat
Tanaya
Tata
Tata
Gandhari Dhardarashtrascha
Gandhari
Gandhari
Dhritarashtrascha
Dhritarashtrascha
Yuyutsur Gautamo Yamo
Yutsur Gautamo Yamau
Yamau
Vrikodarascha Daumyascha
Vrikodarascha
Nikodarascha
Daumyascha
Daumyascha
Yomatsya Sutadaya
Sriyo Matsya
Sriyo Matsya
Sutadaya
Sudadaya
Nase Hirvimukhyamto
Nasehi
Nasehi Vinukyanto
Mukyanto
Viraham Sa Yanacham Viraham
Sharanga
Saranga Danmana
Viraham
Viraham Saranga
Sharanga.
Dhanvana.
Synonyms. Subhadra, the sister of Krishna.
Subhadra, the sister
the
of
sister of
Krishna.
Krishna
Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas.
Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas.
Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas.
Kunti, the mother of the Pandavas.
Virata Thanaya, the daughter of Virata Uttara.
Virata Tanaya, the daughter of
the daughter
Virata
of the
Uttara.
Virata Uttara.
Tatha also.
Tatha also
Also
Gandhari, the mother of Duryodhana.
Gandhari,
Gandhari, the mother of Duryodhana.
Dhritarashtra, the father of Duryodhana.
Dhritarashtra, the father of Duryodhana.
Cha and
Cha and
Cha and
Yuyutshu, the son of Drashtra by his Vaishya wife.
Yutsu,
Yuyutsu, the son of Dhritarashtra by his
Vaishya
Vaishya wife.
Gautama Kripacharya.
Gautama Kripacharya.
Yamau, the twin brothers Nakula and Sahadeva.
Yamau, the twin brothers Nakula and Sahadeva.
Drukodara, Bhima.
Nakodara, Bhima.
Cha and
Cha and
Daumya, Daumya.
Daumya.
Cha and
Cha and
Striya, also other ladies of the palace.
Striya, also other ladies of the palace.
Matsya Suthadaya, the daughter of fishermen Satyavati, Bhishma's stepmother.
Matsya Suta Adaya, the daughter of a fisherman, Satyavati, Bhishma's stepmother.
Na could not.
Na could not.
Sehire tolerate.
Sehire tolerate.
Vimukhyanta, almost fainting.
Vimukyanta, almost fainting.
Viraham, separation.
Viraham, separation.
Charangadanvana, of Sri Krishna who bears a conch in his hand.
Saranga Dhanvana of Sri Krishna who bears a conch in his hand.
Translation, please repeat after me. At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti.
At that time, Subhadra, Draupadi, Kunti,
Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra.
Uttara, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra,
Yuyutsu, Kripacharya.
Yuyutsu, Kripacharya,
Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena.
Nakula, Sahadeva, Bhimasena,
Daumya and Satyavati all nearly fainted.
Dhaumya and Satyavati all nearly fainted
Because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna.
because it was impossible for them to bear separation from Lord Krishna.
Purport.
Purport. Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive for the living beings, especially for the devotees, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul, under the spell of illusory energy, forgets the Lord, otherwise he cannot. The feeling of such separation cannot be described, but it can simply be imagined by devotees only. After his separation from Vrindavana, and the innocent ruler cowherd boys, girls, ladies, and others, they all felt shock throughout their lives. And the separation of Radharani, the most beloved cowherd girl, is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during a solar eclipse, and the feeling which was expressed by them is heartrending. There is, of course, a difference in the qualities of the transcendental devotees of the Lord, but none of them who have ever contacted the Lord by by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. That is the attitude of the pure devotee.
Hari Om Tat Sat. So, Krishna, Akarshiti iti Krishna. Krishna is all attractive to all kind of living beings, whether atheist or theist, whether Shura or Ashura, whether human form or in any other form. He is always attractive to all. That is why he is called Krishna. Krishna means all attractive. And one who is all attractive, and you're coming in contact with such a person that you are totally attracted to him, and suddenly he is going to depart from you, it's really impossible, intolerable, the separation. Even in the conditioned state, if you come across such a personality like Guru Maharaj, it is not tolerable sudden separation. That is why this is transcendental separation is always felt by, the devotees. Only devotees can understand that. They can only imagine how the intolerable feeling of separation, which cannot be actually described. The feeling of separation is more than the feeling of union in love. And after the separation, when then again there will be a union of love, that will be even higher standard. And after that, again there will be a separation that will be even higher standard. So this is transcendental ecstasy in separation. Lord Chaitanya, he has come to experience that separation of devotees, separation of the Lord by a devotee, how a devotee will feel. So he has come in that particular garb of a devotee, and that is why he did not want to hear himself to be called as Lord, because he didn't want to get disturbed from the mood of the devotee, being a devotee of himself. And he wants to, experience that. He enjoys that love in separation. That is called Vipra Lamba Bhava. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us how to serve Krishna out of love in the Vipra Lamba Bhava, because the separation is impossible to tolerate. So you might wonder how we are all part and parcel of Krishna. We have intimately, privately, personal relationship with Krishna, and we don't even care whether Krishna exists around us or not. How are we tolerating? Actually, we cannot tolerate. That is why Krishna made us forgot him. Otherwise, we would not maintain ourselves. We can't maintain our existence even for a moment. What to speak of life after life here? It is also by Krishna's mercy that we are able to sustain without Krishna on this material plane. Only devotees can understand. Because the cowherd boys and girls, ladies and others in Vrindavana, they have experienced separation despite Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Either he is in the thoughts of the Vrajavasis or he himself will be playing around with them. So in transcendental world, thinking Smaranam or actually Krishna's presence are non-different. It just gives a different mood. So Vipralamba Rasa is one of the most important mode that our Acharya Parampara has inherited and propagating. That because we have forgotten Krishna, now we are in the separation of Krishna. So unless otherwise you feel that separation of Krishna when you perform devotional service out of love, we are not going back home, back to God. So this has to be experienced by every living entity. It is not that only devotees can experience. Everybody is a devotee, but it is dormant. in the conditioned state. So the Acharya Parampara comes. And we are given the process of reviving that. That is called Krishna consciousness. How it would like Krishna Abhinnato Nama Name. So by chanting the holy name Krishna becomes manifest in the sound vibration. And when you chant offenselessly, you can see Krishna face to face. And then when you don't chant, you will miss him. And when you miss him, you cannot tolerate that. And you'll be crying, you will be rolling on the ground, you will act like a mad, thinking of him, thinking of his different pastimes, especially the pastimes that happened with the individual, because Krishna always reciprocates to individual. We have seen in the previous purport. Like Bhishma Dev, what was he thinking? At the time of death, right in front of him, Krishna was standing. And Bhishma was thinking how Krishna reciprocated to him in the war field by taking up the chariot wheel. When Krishna reciprocates to a person individually, that is very relishable to the person as well as to Krishna. And Guru Maharaj also, we are thinking about how Guru Maharaj has waved his hand, how he glanced, how he spoke, how he heard what we speak, how he was reciprocating. Not just general class, okay, he came and he gave the class and the class was very good. No. Individually, each disciple has the feeling. That feeling is coming of remembrance of Guru because of the feeling of separation. I am missing him all the way. Now Saurav went all the way, to Tirupati to see Guru Maharaj. Just a glimpse of glance. How? In Bangladesh, if you visit, you will find people are standing far away on the top of the tree and roofs and everywhere to just see Guru Maharaj moving from his room into the stage, just to have a glance. The feeling of separation will be exhibited through their existence, through the devotional service. Like that, Krishna's feeling of separation from Krishna, we have to experience it by imbibing it from our Acharya, our Guru. That is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said we should follow the Braja Vrindavana devotees, pure devotees. And it is beyond expression. There is no words to describe the separation, and only devotees can understand. The separation of Radharani, the most beloved cowherd girl, is beyond expression, Prabhupada says. Because when they met in Kurukshetra during solar eclipse, at that time, what exchange of conversation happened between Radharani and Krishna is heart-trending. Okay, so this is the different transcendental qualities of the devotees of the Lord. But anyway, somehow or the other, if anyone come in contact with the Lord, either in direct communion or otherwise, he can't even give up the Lord's association for a moment. A moment is a fraction of a second. And this is the attitude of pure devotee. They will always remain in contact with Krishna, either in thoughts, in the Vipralamba Seva. The Vipralamba Seva is the servile attitude that is exhibited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and taught by all the Acharya Parampara, starting from Ruta Goswami to our Guru Maharaj. And we have to learn that this is the topmost ecstasy. There is no more ecstasy beyond that. So the topmost ecstasy can be exhibited when you have love for Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible. Even the material world people, when they go for the work, they go to a different location. The so-called near and dear, who are all living in dead matter as bodies, although breathing, they cannot tolerate their own separation. What to speak of then? The true living force, the living entity, the soul, with the whole, that is Krishna, is separated. How it is ever possible to even tolerate? It is actually impossible, intolerable. But we have to somehow experience that by dint of our performance of devotional service under the bona fide spiritual master. Then we will be able to understand what Srila Prabhupada is trying to tell in this purport. We can experience. Understanding is now we can understand when we read. But to experience that, we have to serve. We have to be engaged in the devotional service under the bona fide spiritual master. Then only it is possible. Then you think of those Bhishma, Daumya, Satyavati, Kripacharya, Nakula, Sahadeva, Draupadi, Kunti, Gandhari, even Gandhari Dhritarashtra, Yuyutsu, all of them, Subhadra, how much feeling of separation. He had so much transaction in his life with them one-to-one. How much separation of love. They almost fainted. You see the extreme of the separation. They could not hold themselves out of separation. The moment they hear Krishna is leaving, they can't feel the separation. Radharani and Krishna were sitting, and there was a, what is that called? A bee, Madhusudan. The bee's name is Madhusudan. So that was humming around. And when it left, Krishna was telling Radharani that Madhusudan has gone. Just by hearing Madhusudan, any word is related to only Krishna for Radharani. She knows only Krishna and nothing else. As soon as she heard Madhusudan gone, she immediately felt a deep separation from Krishna. And she started crying. Krishna was sitting there, right there. But the moment they hear, that love is so much that even they can't hear tolerating that separation of Krishna. Immediately, she cried. Looking at that love for him, Krishna also cried. That is how the Prem Sarovar has been formed in Vrindavan. These are all the symptoms, how they is exhibited by the pure devotee out of love. Lord Chaitanya's eyes, torrent of rain like that water was flowing so much. So this is not story or imagination. This is true. And in the Mahabhagavata state, one can experience that. And every living entity can experience the Mahabhagavata state if he is that pure and that intimately performing loving devotional service to Krishna. Now, this is very beautiful purport, very beautiful purport. Srila Prabhupada has given so much in this purport by simply looking at these few personalities who almost nearly fainted. Now, this is Vipralambasera. Want to talk anything?
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurvilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Lord Sri Krishna is so attractive for the living beings, especially for the devotees, Jai Shri Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj, that it is impossible for them to tolerate separation. The conditioned soul under the spell of illusory energy forgets the Lord. Otherwise, he cannot. Oh, this is expressed by Lord Chaitanya. Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravrishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wrote Sikshashtakam. He gave Sikshashtakam to us, where the very famous verse, the third verse is Trunadapi Sunichena Tarori Vasahisuna. There are totally 8 verses. Every devotee has to study this. Very, very important. So in that, the third verse says Trunadapi. There, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I think the 4th verse, no? Yugayitam nimishena chakshusha pravrishayitam sunyayitam jagat sarvam Govinda Virahenave. So he was Govinda Viraha. The separation of Lord Krishna is intolerable for the living entity, because Krishna is, what is the meaning of the word Krishna? No? Is the name Krishna is all attractive. So Krishna's name and form are not different. So the Krishna means Akarshana iti Krishna is so attractive for the living beings. They cannot tolerate. Impossible for them to tolerate separation from him. The conditioned soul under the spell of illusory energy forgets the Lord. Otherwise, he cannot. Only illusory energy is the only reason. Even if little illusory energy is removed, then immediately we will start feeling the separation from that such a sweet Krishna. Oh, how did I forget you? How I fell in this material world and I forgot you, Prabhu. Like that, the heart will break. The feeling of a separation cannot be described. It can only simply be imagined by devotees only. After the separation from Vrindavana, here we actually, it cannot be described in words. The feeling of separation has to be felt. After his separation from Vrindavana, and innocent rural covered boys, girls, ladies and others, they all felt shock throughout their life. Like they became like mad. The separation of Radharani, this is described how they were when in Krishna book. when Uddhava was bringing a message from Krishna to the Brajvasis to console them that time their various activities, the way they were living, they were almost like inactive. So it was described like very pathetic. They felt shock throughout their lives and the separation of Radharani. The most beloved covered girl is beyond expression. Once they met at Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, and after separation from Vrindavan, here we see that evidence where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where all the gopis and Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, all the Brajvasis met Krishna at Kurukshetra. This is before the war. There was a solar eclipse. So they met there because there is a pond made by Parasurama, and it is very, very special to bathe in that pond during solar eclipse. So everybody decided, because it's a holy place. Kurukshetra was Dharmakshetra, Dharmakshetre, Kurukshetre. So they chose a Dharmakshetra to fight the war so that the righteous people will win and the wrong people will die. So who's right and defeated? Who's right and wrong? Who's submissive to the authority of the Supreme Lord is actually right people. Those who are not submissive to the Supreme Lord. In the worldly manner, people will glorify somebody as good man, somebody as bad man, based on whether they give the facility for sense gratification. The more the facility you give for sense gratification, the more good person you are. Oh, he donates so much. He opened a free hospital. He is a very nice man. He's a very nice man. He's maintaining my body. Is freely gave education. This is what, it's not even education you are seeing here. So in this way, so people are very much behind like this, not in a public sense, so, but in the sense of the scriptures, the one king who encourages his subjects in the kingdom to take up Krishna consciousness, in some way or other, bring them near to the liberation and Krishna consciousness, self-realization. Somehow or other, the king has to arrange for this based on the situation. Feeling which was expressed. So here, this is Krishna re-established that. But before that, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, we see here there was a solar eclipse. After Krishna separated from Vrindavan, they had one more opportunity to meet Krishna. And the feeling which was expressed by them is heart-rending. So this is very amazing. So we should understand what is this basically. Even though it cannot be described, but on past times reveal this. So that is very important in this Kartik month. I would like to warn you, like a very, very famous, if you go to Vrindavan alone or somewhere place, they will be singing something called Gopika Geet. This Gopika Geet is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where some of the gopis, but not Radharani, surely not Radharani. Because Radharani, actually, some of the gopis will be singing some Sanskrit verses and songs in the separation of Krishna. Separation is a very simple process. They will be dancing very nicely, and Krishna will expand into many Krishnas, and with each of the gopis, he will be dancing separately. And with Radharani, he'll be dancing in the center. And in this way, when they are dancing, every gopi thinks that Krishna belongs only to me and not to others. She possessiveness. So actually distributing Krishna consciousness is the mood of Srimati Radharani. Distributing Krishna consciousness. Once you have Krishna, the reason you have Krishna is to distribute to others. You should understand this. You want to have all by yourself, then even in our Acharya Parampara, they initiate only when somebody chants loudly. One cannot chant loudly, one will chant within the mind or something. Then he is not given initiation. This is because you should not work only for yourself. Should be able to spread the message, give to others. Krishna consciousness is for giving to others as well. So that attitude here very beautifully. Then Radharani sees this, that how everybody wants to have all for themselves, that they don't want anyone else to have as well. So this attitude she doesn't like, and she disappears. From that Raslila, she leaves, despite Krishna is there, despite there is a dance, despite there is moonlight. You want to know which day it is? In another 2 days it is coming. Which this Leela, which we are describing now, happened in Purnami of Damodar month, Kartik month Purnima is the day that's called Sarat Purnima. On that day, the moon is the witness. He showered special service. So there is a transcendental moon, of course, in Vrindavana. Otherwise, also sun, moon, and all have seen Krishna coming over in various places in the earth. So they are all witness. Many people ask, have you seen God? Have you seen God? Many, many people have seen God even 5,000 years before, 500 years before. Many, many, even public have seen God. Even in incarnation of Krishna comes, they are very famous. Not that Ramachandra came, so many people see. Every incarnation, so many people see. Not that anybody has seen God, nobody has seen. Who are they to declare? Nobody has seen God. So many people have seen God. So, you have any trouble? I'm reading this book. So there are three things. So many people. So here we see that separation from Krishna is then Radharani leaves that field of this dancing arena. Then Krishna cannot withstand the separation from Radharani. She is personification of pure devotional service. She is Prema Mayi Mahabhagavata. Mahabhava she is getting, nobody else has got. So Krishna immediately searches for her and he leaves. Once he leaves, all the gopis don't see their Krishna missing. They see that their Krishna is missing. So they are left alone. So Radharani goes because she feels there is some impurity. So if you see there Sruti Chari gopis and Smriti Sari gopis and Yoga Chari gopis, these yogis, when Ramachandra was there, he walked in the forest. At the time, yogis wanted to dance with him. He was very handsome. In this way, many people desired. So he gave an opportunity for many people. But there is some mixed devotion, something problem. So she left mainly this possessiveness and also that there was a mixture. So she left. So Krishna also left. So all the other gopis, they were searching for Krishna. At that time, they are singing that song. Then some verses are there, 10, 15 verses, which are very famous. Right now, it has become famous. Prabhupada never asked them to jump to 10th canto. Prabhupada always tells that one should not directly jump to 10th canto. Many places he has informed this. In introduction to Bhagavatam, in first chapter of Bhagavatam, first sloka, many places he has mentioned nobody should directly jump into the conclusion, into the 10th canto. But despite so many warnings from Prabhupada, this song is being sung. But how do we understand? Why not we sing? They are all nice Sanskrit verses. Why not I sing? Why are you stopping it? Very simple. Jumping to 10th canto is one thing which will not be done. And another, we can understand very clearly here, Radharani was missing. And Prabhupada established Radha Krishna temples, and we are supposed to be Radha Krishna devotees. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Rahiyanya. So here in Mayapur, we see Radha Krishna Ashtasakhi. Ashtasakis are always with Radharani. So we understand that they are also not there with the other gopis. Whoever was singing was not actually proper. That's why Radharani left. But they are singing that song, point number one. Second is that singing that song, they are singing song in a very choicy poetry in Sanskrit. But when Krishna wanted to show them what is the affection of Srimati Radharani, so purposely Krishna left Radharani to show the other gopis. Many people give many reasons, but the original reason is he wanted to show them what actually separation of Krishna, what will be the situation of Radharani. Pure unalloyed loving devotee. Brain will not work. Senses will stop working. They will behave in a wrong way. And mad and constant torrent of rain will fall from the eye. Continuous crying, loud shouting and crying. Not very well behaved, elegant behavior of showing my Vipralamba Baba in an advertisement mood. So nothing, don't know what is happening. So they were searching for her in the forest. This is mentioned in Prema Sambhuta. This is Gopal Bhatta Goswami has written this. So then searching, it's a simple pastime, but from that pastime, when we read Bhagavatam only, we can understand the pastime. We should not go and read all those books first. We should read Srila Prabhupada's books and his purports mainly, very thoroughly. Then we understand. When we read any pastime, we understand the internal tattva of that pastime. Not simply blabbering pastime. I also go to Vrindavan. I am also in the Vrajamandala. So I will tell the pastime. I also know the pastime. Here, from here and there, don't even mention the name from whom you hear, gather the information, compile it, add some nose, eyes, and everything, make some psychological manipulation for a cheap adoration, and they express the pastime. Not like that. Original, as it is, we understand Tattvartha because we require transformation. We require a real process with which we achieve the real goal. If you maintain duplicity in devotion, how will you achieve the perfection? Liberation, Krishna easily will give. Somehow he will make you escape, but prema will be missing the whole aim. So the genuinity in practicing Krishna consciousness is very, very essential without any duplicity or performing for others. This is very, very essential. We have to tell others there's nothing wrong in spreading, but an individual practice should be very genuine. So here, and he wanted to show when the ghost gave, when Radharani saw Krishna left and he was missing, then she lost her complete consciousness. She fainted and cried, and Krandan, loudly shouting, crying from nose and mouth. Water is coming, saliva is coming, and like a mad lady falling, and like that. How that is expressed by Lord Chaitanya in his Sankirtana. In Puri, when he is dancing in front of Lord Jagannath's Rath, is not that, okay, now I will release my... No, not like that. Saliva, not like that. Really, really, that is the feeling when Krishna leaves, the heart breaks. When the heart breaks, they become mad. And in the madness, she was crying so loudly, no public etiquette, nothing. Vaishnava etiquette, you have to stand, you have to sit. All these things are not. Simply crying. And then when the gopis met, they were singing songs and shameful. They felt shameful. They felt very, very shameful, and they have not even touched it. By Radharani's mercy, they got her, Krishna. That they understood by the mercy of internal potency. Yeah. Whatever little bit we got association of Krishna is by this lady's mercy, this pure devotee's mercy only. We got this little bit, but we have thought that we will have him without her. This is, and then so we should be very careful during this Kartik month that people sing that song. First, we should understand. We don't, that only one verse we sing. Only one verse is Tavakatamritam Taptajivanam Kavibiriditam Kalmashavakam Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvigaranantiye Bhurikachana. This one verse that they glorify the pure devotees who are roaming around in the surface of earth, and they are the only auspiciousness in this earth. So they glorify pure devotees who are preachers in Krishna consciousness, preachers in Krishna consciousness. So Radharani also, before Krishna left, she asked, I want you to dance with every living entity, not only special people like this Ruti and this thing becoming puffed up, not with every single person. Like Guru Maharaj says, all my disciples, I want them to go back to God. All my disciples have to become Guru. This is the mood. This is the mood. So people can't understand how all of them can become, how all. You don't want all, but Radharani wants all. This we can see the servant of Radharani very clearly. Who is the servant of Radharani? He encourages preaching, not in a conditioned state. Don't preach to them. Don't, like a youngster only you preach. Don't preach to old people. They are rich people only you preach. Nothing like that. Simply, Krishna Upades. Amara Guru hoi tare. Amara Agya Guru hoi tare desh. I give you my permission. I give you my instruction. Amara Agya. Guru hoi tara desh. Whoever is your neighbor, friends, one person smilingly speaking with you, developing a friendship, you should give them his gift. Give him this gift. You should give him this gift. None of them who have ever contacted the Lord by direct communion or otherwise can leave him for a moment. How can all join and sing some song? Impossible. And somebody wants to repeat that song. So they don't know what is what. Through Acharya Parampara, this is totally a broken idea from the branch of Krishna consciousness, Acharya Parampara. So we should be very, very careful that we don't get into all those things in the name of Krishna consciousness. Where Prabhupada has given us a nice process, and Guru Maharaj is teaching us to observe Bhishma Panchaka during Kartik, to show lamp, encourage all your neighbors, friends, everybody to show lamp. Whoever is that, if you have a milkman delivering milk at your doorstep, you can request him, sir, kindly show this lamp to Krishna. Very special, the month, Diwali month, you get a lot of benefits, sir. Just can you show this lamp, make all the lamp ready when the milkman comes. You don't have anybody, a milkman will come to your doorstep. Is it not? Somebody will come. Huh? So you can invite your neighbors or friends or some children at least. Children like playing, so you can say like a game on Sunday or something when children are available in the evening, give them some eatables, prasadam, they'll be very happy to visit your home. Nobody can say that I cannot invite anybody. So you should make somebody show lamp. In this way, Guru Maharaj is encouraging us to practice Krishna consciousness in a very authorized way without any deviation from the Acharya Parampara and our Krishna conscious movement, how to celebrate Damodar month. We should not develop concocted methodologies in the name of devotion and mental speculative ideas, and they may be famous. That doesn't mean that that is right. So people are always looking for deviation from Krishna consciousness. That is material world. Always. That is why we require very powerful Shakti Avesh, Acharya Parampara, Acharya. Why such a Shakti is required to be? Because conditioned soul always in the mood of withering away and bringing them back. This cultivation, caring very carefully, cultivating them. The Acharya Parampara we always divert. So Prabhu always used to tell one example that angular distance of deviation. So what, yeah, only one song I'm singing. Angular deviation. So you're in a point, you're in a path, you're in a path along with Guru, Krishna, Acharya Parampara, road is going. You're also follower, you're following them. Now what do you think? Okay, I will only one degree, 2 degree, I will just turn myself instead of straightly following them. A little bit, 1 degree only I'll turn. Not much. It is not much. So if there is a line, and in the line you're going straight, and only 1 degree you may draw another line. Only 1 degree deviation. After some time you see it will be so much distance between the point from where you started togetherness and the deviation. So we should be very, very careful about these deviations during this beautiful Kartik month. We have to nicely practice Krishna consciousness in the way we are guided. Especially when you have taken initiation, you should, every Kartik month, Bhishma Panchara, you should follow. Other than that, you should also do Bhishma Tarpana if you are initiated. See, Bhishma Panchara, anybody can follow, but initiated devotee should follow Bhishma Tarpana, which has been followed by our previous Gaura Bhaktas, Acharya Parampara, Bhaktis Saraswati Thakur, Gaudiya Math, everybody follows Bhishma Panchaka. It's part of our custom. And this is very pleasing and so many times benefit and all that. So we should practice Krishna consciousness nicely under the guidance and protection of our Acharya Parampara and without any deviation. Understand the Vipralamba Bhava, like how the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cried. Why crying? Why is he crying? Because that is the separation in material world. He is not seeing Sunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Vira. Sunya. He is seeing only Sunya. Because the illusory energy hides Krishna, even though he is in the form of Paramatma or whatever, but he hides. And when we look around, actually there is no place like this anywhere. So that is why this is called illusion, because there is no place where Krishna doesn't exist. Very simple to understand illusion. There's no place where Krishna doesn't exist. But we are seeing a place where Krishna doesn't exist. That means we are in illusion. A very simple fact. So, but very, very profound fact. So we have to understand Krishna consciousness. So this is when you read Bhagavatam, when you discuss Bhagavatam, you get revelation of all these transcendental tattvas, and one should submerge himself into the purports of Srila Prabhupada. How amazing they are, how amazing. They are revealing us very great truths. Getting to know God itself is very rare. And getting to know his girlfriend is very, very rare, confidential subject matter. And understanding that she is internal potency, at the same time, the exchange of mutual affections between them. It's not Radha and Krishna's pastimes are described here, but their separation is described here. See, many people misunderstand Radha and Krishna like this Jodi. In North India, we see so much anarthas. Even in South India, they draw like this. They misunderstand. They don't understand the difference between lust and love. Kama and prema. We should understand. Prema is a heart feeling. a deep consciousness, deep inside the consciousness, which cannot be experienced in the material world. So only Prabhupada is mentioning here, even it can be imagined. Why? Even by devotees, when we are in the material world, it cannot, we will experience. We will experience, of course we will experience. But none of them who had ever contacted the Lord by direct communion, if anybody has communicated with Lord directly or otherwise, cannot leave him for a moment. So cannot leave him for a moment. How can somebody sing songs? So that is the attitude of a pure devotee. So pure devotee or not, you can just very easily find out from the purports. That is why purports of Guru Maharaj again and again requesting us, Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, we have to read again and again, lifelong we should read and understand till Guru Maharaj is instructing us to do this, we have to do this. Of course, we are waiting for the Chaitanya Leela book, which reveals all these truths in a very profound way, with a pastime, in a way of pastime, like only juice is going to be available. So let us all wait for that. And a devotee of Lord Chaitanya is really a devotee of Krishna and nobody else. A pure devotee of Krishna can be very easily identified whether it's a Gaura Bhakta. And the Gaura Bhakta is the follower of a Gaura Bhakta. Not that I'll keep a name Gaura or Gauranga or something Gaura, and then I don't have anything to do with Gauranga Mahaprabhu. I won't propagate or promote, or I don't have a guru who guides me on that. Where from your information is coming? If your guru is not, then where from the information is coming? So we should follow Acharya Parampara, authorized Acharya Parampara coming from Prabhupada, and we should practice very nicely Krishna consciousness. If you go to Vrindavan, without talking about anything about Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they will give lectures in mic set. In mic set, how many? They will Krishna ne, Kana ne, like this. Vraja me, Vraja, the name Vraja, why came, why Krishna have peacock feather, this, that, so many pastime. They also go to Vrajamandala Parikrama, so many things they do. And you can hear so many satsangs and all that. But totally Gauranga Mahaprabhu is missing. Totally Gauranga Mahaprabhu is missing. They don't know about information about Mayapur, no information about Navadvip. Sometimes something they come to know because Jayapataka Swami Maharaj is quite famous everywhere. Some of them visit, very rarely. Very rare, that is. So.
And the reason first when Guru Maharaj went to Vrindavan, some devotees, they said we will establish Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet here in Radha Kund because he has come here.
So
what did Guru Maharaj say?
Yeah, one day before they had written a mail, now Guru Maharaj went and established because he's very kind. But when they invited, so Guru Maharaj told in the Chaitanya Leela class that they have invited me to Vrindavan to establish Lord Chaitanya's lotus feet in Radha Kund. They want me to do this. But how can I, what is this establishing in one place, Radha Kund? Because Radha Krishna, Ahiyanya Sri Krishna Chaitanya, which every dust has this pastime. Every dust where we need to establish it belongs to him. Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. Vrishabhanute Devis Pranamami Hari Priye. Sri Vrindavaneshwari. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has gone to all the places when we see the pastimes in Chaitanya Leela. When Guru Maharaj was describing Chaitanya Leela, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to every single forest, every single pastime place. Any pastime place you are seeing today is revealed only by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Only. After that, only Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami went and everything. Some of them went before and waited, some of them, very rare. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who revealed. Even Radha Kund was not known to anybody. It was Kala and Gora. There are two ponds in the middle of a field. People were even bathing in that small ponds. They didn't even know what it is. They were washing clothes. It's inside middle of a field and they were taking water and putting in the field and all. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knows he was part of the pastime. So not Guru Maharaj told him, where will I establish? Which place? How many places? Now when I read this pastime, I see that he has gone to every place. There's no other, every dust, it is mentioned that birds, trees, and everybody reciprocated. Even people of Vrindavan identified him and they ran. Our Krishna has come again, Krishna has come again. Like this, and the birds are all ran, and the deers are coming and they were licking the body of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The forest and the trees were, there is no season also. They were at the same time, they were nourished with leaves. At the same time, they had flowers. At the same time, they were filled with fruits, and the fruits were falling with juice. All the trees. These are all the eyewitnesses. Balabhadra Bhattacharya and another Madhavendra Puri's disciple, old man, they all have seen this pastime. So where will the lotus feet be established? Which place? Every place he has gone. So this Guru Maharaj is having
Jai
vision.
Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Thank you so much. Any questions? Comments?
So anybody has any questions, comments, or realization, please share with us. Why?
Hare Krishna, sir.
Very good.
Just small clarification, sir. Arjuna was in Sakabhav with Krishna, and Bhima was also in the Sakabhav.
Yeah. They're equal age. In one sense, they are all in. I'm telling, it is like
intensity
in the same,
differs.
Yeah,
The
intensity
relationship is
may be
unique.
different. It is Sakha only, but intensity is different.
See, if somebody is in Sakabhav, it is not that it's manufacturing oranges in the factory. Not like that. It is real oranges you see, no? You have various colors, various shapes, various sizes, and you open. Various trees give various taste. Like some are very juicy, at the same time not so very sweet. Some are small but sweet. Some are very big, but they are very hard. In this way, so many you see the same orange. You go into this Kamala orange, you see. Not in the factory one, which you find in the mall. So in this way, naturally the affection is different. So of course, they are all friends only. Friends, Dasya and friendship. But the intensity of friendship is different. And one more thing is, there are two Vaikunthas, two places. One is a Vaikuntha, which we see that Bhishma Deva went back. What is the name of the Vaikuntha? Do you remember? The purport it is mentioned. Bhishma Deva went back to one of the Vaikuntha. What form did Bhishma Deva saw in the war field? Which form he meditated?
Krishna's form, original form.
As what?
Two-handed form.
Two-handed, but as what? What pastime was going on? What view he had in his eyesight? View, vision. Krishna was doing what? He's explaining, no? That full chapter. Bhishma was in the war field, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Opposite to Bhishma was Krishna in the opposite party, no?
Yes.
So what Krishna was doing?
Krishna was there, like in front of his eyes only, and
Eyes doing what? Where was he sitting? What was he doing?
he was offering his obeisances, like obeisances to Bhishma.
Not now, baby. Not now. Now Bhishma is dead. Bhishma has finished the karma, everything, kriya, everything is done to Bhishma now. Now they are all returning back. This is some other. After finishing that, Krishna came back. Now he is going to leave Hastinapur and go. But Bhishma already left the body. Before leaving the body, he saw the form. And he described what form he is seeing in front of his eyes before leaving the body. We asked you to give the realization. What form did Bhishma see in his eyes? What form was standing in front of his eyes? What kind of activity? What was Krishna doing? How he was standing, sitting? What? With bow and arrow? What his hands were holding? How his hair was there any dust in his hair?
Yes, ma'am.
What form? What form?
Like Krishna was in a very angry mood. Like
angry mood doing what?
Yes.
What was his duty in the war field? What was his duty in the war field?
He was with Arjuna. He was guiding. He was just riding the Arjuna's chariot, and he was just guiding Arjuna. And at the
Tell
same
the
time,
chariot driver, no? Why can't you say simply chariot driver? Why? Oh, your Maryada. Duplicity, it should not be. What is in the scripture? Prabhupada is telling he was Arjuna's driver. You say he's Arjuna's driver. He was driving the chariot. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
That is in Sanskrit called Partha Sarathi. Sarathi
Yes,
means the driver. Partha means Arjuna. You understand? Krishna is glorified for his exchange of mutual affection. So what was Krishna?
Parthasarthi.
Tell it in English. Prabhupada is telling.
Chariot driver.
Arjuna's chariot driver. Yes.
Arjuna's
So
chariot
there is one
driver.
separate loka, Vaikuntha, called Parthasarathi loka. So he went there. He went there to the Parthasarathi loka. He every time comes from there only to give pleasure to Krishna in a chivalrous mood. Whenever Krishna is in a war, he will come. Any war, anywhere. So that he will give a good fight. And he will give some pleasure. Sometimes Krishna says that I won't fight this war. And he will come and sit. And he will see to that Krishna is fighting. So in this way, he is giving pleasure. Same way, these four sakas, that Panchapandava, all five of them are in a very friendly manner. And Draupadi was said to be the more best friend, very, very best friend. More than even Arjuna, Draupadi is a very close friend to Arjuna, Krishna. So, but the Sakya Bhava, but the taste and the mellow, the exchange, it will be different. Krishna always exchange different rasa only. So, and inside Sakya, there is many varieties. You want to add anything, Rajeshwar? Bhishma was also, Bhima was also in Sakya. No, he asked, was Bhima in Sakya? Yes, Bhima was also in Sakya. All Panchapandavas, Draupadi, everybody was in Sakya. Whereas she was not, Kunti was not. Kunti was in Vatsalya. But the mellow is
Bhishma
different.
was in Dasya.
Bhishma was in Dasya.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Remember the purports. In purport, Parthasarathi is mentioned. There is Parthasarathi Loka is mentioned. Bhishma left his body. Where did he go? If somebody asks you, you should be able to tell. We won't let you do another Bhakti Vaibhav again. You do this only, then you directly give the exam. You do this with us, then we will arrange for, there is Ministry of Education is giving exam. You can directly write the exam without going through the course. And this is the course of Bhakti Vaibhav. Guru Maharaj wants you to do Bhakti Vaibhav also, right? So we have recordings. You can hear the recordings from YouTube once more before you write the exam. Then you can give the exam. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So thank attentively listen. When there is academy, we will be very attentive. So when we see there is an exam, then we will be attentive. But don't read for exam. Read for your own revision. Very nice question you asked.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Anybody else? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you very much for the association. So let's wind up and join back congregation chanting the holy name of the Lord at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning, followed by Srimad Bhagavatam class. Grandra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
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 Jai Padita Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Bhagavat Satsang ki jai.
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 Premanande.
Hari 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 Bo.
Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya